There comes a moment in life that changes everything, not when you win, not when people clap for you, but when the dream you prayed for, the dream you worked for, dies right in front of you. The pain of a dead dream is something nobody talks about honestly. People celebrate success, they post highlights, they talk about winning seasons, but they rarely sit with you in the silence that follows loss. When a dream dies, it doesn't just disappear, it takes a piece of you with it. It takes your routine, your confidence, your sense of direction. You wake up one day and realize the future you imagined so clearly no longer exists. And that realization can feel heavier than any physical pain. That kind of pain is personal. It's not just about failing at something, it's about losing who you thought you were going to become. You invested time, sacrifice, and belief into that dream. You turned down other opportunities. You pushed through exhaustion. You told yourself it would all make sense in the end. So when it ends abruptly, it feels unfair. It feels like life changed the rules without warning. You start asking questions that don't have easy answers, and the quiet moments become the loudest. But here's what pain does that comfort never will: it stops you. It forces you to stand still and look at yourself without the mask of achievement. When everything is going well, you're moving too fast to reflect. When the dream dies, movement slows, and in that stillness, truth begins to surface. You start to see the difference between what you were chasing and what you were called to do. That pain becomes a pause, and that pause becomes an invitation to grow. Most people think the end of a dream means the end of progress, but that's not how life works. Sometimes progress looks like loss before it looks like gain. Sometimes the road forward first takes you backward emotionally, so you can move forward mentally. The pain you feel is not proof that you're finished. It's proof that you cared deeply, that you were brave enough to want something big. And caring deeply is never a weakness, even when it hurts. When a dream ends, it exposes what you were depending on for your identity. If your confidence was tied to success, the pain will feel unbearable. If your worth was connected to performance, the loss will feel personal. But that discomfort is a signal, not a punishment. It's showing you that your value has to be rooted in something deeper than results. Pain has a way of tearing down false foundations so stronger ones can be built. This turning point is uncomfortable because it demands honesty. You have to admit that what you wanted may not be what you needed. You have to confront the fear of starting over. You have to face the uncertainty of not knowing what's next. But uncertainty doesn't mean absence of direction. It means you're being prepared for a new one. The pain clears the noise, so you can finally hear the lessons you ignored when everything was going your way. A dead dream teaches resilience in a way success never can. Success rewards effort, but pain refines character. It teaches patience when you want answers immediately. It teaches humility when pride once drove you. It teaches endurance when quitting feels like the only option. In that process, you begin to understand that the dream was not wasted. It trained you, disciplined you, and strengthened you for something else. This is where the turning point happens. Not when the pain disappears, but when you stop fighting it. When you allow it to shape you instead of shatter you. When you realize that endings are not always losses, sometimes they are redirections. The pain becomes less about what you lost and more about what you're becoming. You may not see it yet, but this moment is developing depth, perspective, and purpose that the dream alone could never give you. The end of a dream doesn't mean life has nothing left for you. It means life is asking you to grow beyond what you imagined. The pain is real, and it deserves to be felt, but it is not the final chapter. It is the place where strength is born, where perspective is sharpened, and where a new sense of direction quietly begins to take shape. Most people grow up believing their value is measured by what they accomplish. From an early age, you're praised for results, rewarded for performance, and recognized for what you produce. Over time, achievement slowly becomes identity. You stop saying this is what I do and start believing this is who I am. So when success is present, confidence feels strong, but when achievement is taken away, everything feels unstable. That's when the real question surfaces. Who are you when there's nothing to prove? Identity built only on achievement is fragile. It depends on outcomes, approval, and momentum. As long as things are going well, you feel secure, but the moment progress slows or doors close, doubt rushes in. You begin to question your worth, replaying failures as if they define you. That pressure is exhausting because it forces you to perform just to feel acceptable. Living like that means you're never at rest, never complete, always chasing the next win to validate your existence. When achievement disappears, it feels like the ground has been pulled out from under you. The silence after applause can be unsettling. The empty space where routine once lived can feel unfamiliar, but that space is not a punishment, it's a revelation. It exposes the difference between what you do and who you are. Without the label, the title, or the role, you're left face to face with your character, your values, and your beliefs. That confrontation is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. True identity doesn't fluctuate with success or failure. It doesn't rise when people praise you or collapse when they criticize you. It's rooted in something deeper than recognition. When you understand that, pressure begins to lose its power. You stop needing to impress everyone because you're no longer dependent on their approval to feel significant. You can work hard without attaching your worth to the outcome. You can give your best without fearing that failure will define you. There's freedom in knowing you are more than your results. You begin to understand that discipline matters even when no one is watching. Integrity matters even when there's no reward. Effort matters even when progress feels slow. When identity is secure, setbacks don't break you, they teach you. Loss doesn't erase you, it refines you. You stop seeing obstacles as personal attacks and start seeing them as part of the process of becoming. Achievement can be taken away in a moment, but character remains. Titles can be removed, opportunities can end, and plans can change. But the person you've developed through discipline, consistency, and resilience stays with you. That's why identity beyond achievement is so important. It allows you to stand steady when life is uncertain. It gives you confidence that doesn't need constant reinforcement. When you detach your identity from achievement, your perspective changes. You stop rushing the process. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop measuring your life by timelines that were never meant for you. Instead, you focus on growth, learning, and impact. You realize that success is not just about what you reach, but about who you become along the way. This mindset also changes how you handle pressure. Instead of feeling crushed by expectations, you become grounded. You understand that effort is your responsibility, but outcomes are not always in your control. That awareness brings peace. You can give your best without fear because your identity is not on the line. You are valuable before you win, and you remain valuable even when you lose. When identity is secure, purpose becomes clearer. You stop chasing recognition and start chasing meaning. You work from a place of conviction instead of desperation. You don't need constant validation because you already know who you are. That clarity allows you to show up consistently, not just when success is guaranteed, but even when the path is uncertain. Achievement may open doors, but identity determines how you walk through them. When you know who you are beyond what you do, you're no longer controlled by success or destroyed by failure. You become steady, resilient, and focused, capable of moving forward with confidence regardless of the circumstances around you. Comfort has a way of hiding things. When life is smooth, routines are easy, and outcomes are predictable, you rarely question yourself. You move through your days on momentum, assuming strength without ever testing it. Comfort tells you that you're fine, that everything is under control, that there's no need to dig deeper. But comfort doesn't develop you, it maintains you. It keeps you in familiar patterns and convinces you that potential is the same as progress. Adversity interrupts that illusion. It shows up without permission and disrupts everything you thought you had figured out. Suddenly, the systems you depended on don't work the same way. The confidence you felt starts to shake. The plans you trusted fall apart. In those moments, you don't rise to your expectations, you fall to your preparation. Adversity doesn't create weakness, it reveals it. It exposes the gaps between who you thought you were and who you actually are under pressure. When things are comfortable, effort is optional. You can show up halfway and still survive. You can avoid hard conversations, delay difficult decisions, and ignore flaws because there's no immediate cost. But adversity removes that safety net. It demands full engagement. It forces you to confront your habits, your mindset, and your discipline. You find out quickly whether your confidence was built on consistency or on circumstances. Pressure reveals priorities. When everything is going well, it's easy to say what matters to you. But when time is limited, energy is drained, and stress is high, your true values come to the surface. What you choose to protect, what you choose to sacrifice, and what you choose to fight for becomes clear. Adversity strips away pretense and leaves only what's real. It also reveals resilience you didn't know you had. Comfort never asks you to endure, but adversity demands it. You learn how much you can carry when there's no option to put the weight down. You discover how strong your mindset is when quitting feels logical. You realize how disciplined you are when motivation disappears. That strength doesn't come from ease. It's forged in moments where giving up seems justified, but you keep going anyway. Adversity has a way of sharpening focus. When distractions are removed and options are limited, clarity increases. You stop worrying about things that don't matter. You stop chasing approval from people who aren't walking with you. Your vision becomes clearer because the noise has been silenced. What once felt important fades, and what truly matters stands out with intensity. It also exposes character. How you treat people when you're under pressure reveals more about you than how you act when life is easy. Patience, humility, and integrity are easy to display when there's nothing at stake, but adversity tests those qualities. It shows whether your values are situational or deeply rooted. It reveals whether your principles are convenient or unshakable. Growth requires discomfort. Muscles don't strengthen without resistance, and character doesn't develop without challenge. Adversity applies that resistance. It stretches you beyond your comfort zone and forces adaptation. In that process, weaknesses become lessons and failures become teachers. You begin to understand that struggle is not an interruption of growth, it is the pathway to it. Comfort keeps you familiar, but adversity makes you capable. Comfort protects you from pain, but adversity prepares you for purpose. When you look back, the moments that shaped you the most were not the easy wins, but the hard seasons that demanded everything you had. Those moments refined your perspective, deepened your empathy, and strengthened your resolve. Adversity doesn't ask if you're ready. It shows you what you're made of. It pulls out strength, discipline, and faith that comfort would have left untouched. What you discover in those moments becomes part of who you are, shaping the way you move forward, the way you lead, and the way you respond when the next challenge arrives. Personal success is often defined by what you gain: recognition, money, status, or influence. It's measured by numbers, milestones, and visible wins. There's nothing wrong with wanting to succeed, but the problem begins when success becomes the destination instead of a tool. When life is centered only on personal achievement, it eventually feels empty, because no matter how much you accumulate, it only benefits one direction. Purpose, on the other hand, moves outward. It's not about what you collect, but about what you contribute. Purpose is bigger because it outlives the moment. Success can fade, titles can change, and opportunities can close. but purpose continues to operate even when circumstances shift. When your motivation is tied only to winning, setbacks feel devastating. But when your drive is connected to purpose, setbacks become part of the mission. You stop asking, "How does this affect me?" and start asking, "How can this be used?" Personal success focuses on position, purpose focuses on impact. You can be successful and still feel unfulfilled if your work doesn't align with something meaningful. Purpose gives direction to your effort. It tells you why you're waking up early, why you're pushing through discomfort, and why you keep showing up even when results are delayed. Without purpose, success becomes a treadmill. You're always running but never arriving. When you live for purpose, your definition of winning changes. It's no longer about being seen, but about being effective. It's no longer about being praised, but about being useful. You start measuring your life by the lives you influence, not the applause you receive. That shift creates endurance because impact doesn't depend on recognition. You can work quietly, serve consistently, and remain committed even when no one is watching. Purpose also changes how you handle sacrifice. When success is personal, sacrifice feels like loss. But when purpose is the driver, sacrifice feels necessary. You understand that some things have to be given up to make room for something greater. Time, comfort, and convenience are no longer the priority. The mission becomes more important than the moment. Living with purpose requires humility. It reminds you that your abilities are not just for you. Your experiences, both good and bad, carry value beyond your own life. What you've learned through struggle can guide someone else. What you've survived can strengthen someone who's still in the middle of their battle. Purpose turns pain into fuel and progress into responsibility. When purpose leads, ego steps back. You stop competing with people and start collaborating with them. You stop needing to be the best and focus on doing your best. Comparison loses its grip because your journey is no longer about ranking. It's about alignment. You become more patient because you're not rushing to prove anything. You're building something that matters. Purpose also provides stability. Success can be unpredictable, but purpose gives consistency. Even when outcomes change, your direction stays the same. That stability creates resilience. You're not easily discouraged by slow seasons because you understand that impact often grows quietly before it becomes visible. Purpose allows you to stay committed without immediate rewards. When your life is driven by purpose, success becomes a byproduct, not the goal. Achievements still come, but they don't define you. They support the mission instead of replacing it. You can enjoy success without being controlled by it. And you can face failure without being destroyed by it. Purpose gives you something stronger than motivation. It gives you meaning. A life built only on personal success eventually asks, "Is this all there is?" A life built on purpose answers that question through service, contribution, and impact. Purpose stretches beyond your lifetime, beyond your comfort, and beyond your personal gain. It calls you to use what you have where you are for something bigger than yourself, and in that pursuit, fulfillment becomes deeper than any success you could ever achieve. Life has a way of testing you when feelings are strongest and motivation is weakest. There are days when you wake up tired, uninspired, or even doubtful about the path you're on. Emotions fluctuate constantly. They can lift you up one moment and bring you down the next. If you depend on how you feel to act, progress will always be inconsistent. Discipline and faith become the bridge between where you are and where you want to go, because they don't rely on mood swings or temporary emotions. They rely on commitment and belief, and that consistency is what produces results over time. Discipline is not about harsh rules or punishment. It's about training yourself to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up when energy is low, when distractions are high, and when the easiest choice is to quit or delay. Discipline turns intentions into actions. It creates habits that carry you forward even when motivation fades. Feelings are unreliable, but discipline provides structure and reliability. It keeps you moving forward when comfort and excuses tempt you to stay still. Faith works hand in hand with discipline. Faith is the unshakable belief that your effort is not wasted, even when results are not immediately visible. Faith is the quiet voice that reminds you that the struggle has a purpose, that the setback is a setup, and that your journey is leading somewhere greater. While feelings react to circumstances, faith trusts the unseen. It is what allows you to persist through uncertainty, fear, and doubt. Discipline gives you the action, faith gives you the reason. Together, they make you unstoppable. Relying on feelings alone is dangerous because feelings are temporary. You can feel motivated today and defeated tomorrow. You can feel confident in 1 hour and insecure in the next. If action depends on these fluctuating emotions, progress becomes erratic. But when you prioritize discipline and faith, you act regardless of how you feel. You honor your commitments, push through discomfort, and maintain focus even when the mind and heart resist. That consistency compounds into growth, achievement, and character that feelings alone could never produce. Discipline also builds resilience. When you repeatedly push yourself to do what's necessary despite how you feel, you discover strength you didn't know existed. You prove to yourself that setbacks don't define you, that obstacles are not permanent roadblocks, and that your will is stronger than any temporary emotion. Each time you act with discipline over feelings, you train your mind to respond with courage instead of hesitation. You create a standard for yourself that cannot be shaken by fleeting doubts or emotional turbulence. Faith sustains you through the invisible work. Most progress is invisible at first. Growth, learning, and preparation happen long before anyone notices. Faith allows you to continue in the shadows, knowing that your effort is meaningful even when recognition hasn't arrived. It's the assurance that the principles you live by are stronger than the circumstances you face, and that dedication to your purpose will eventually bear fruit. Without faith, discipline can feel mechanical or empty. With faith, discipline becomes powerful and purposeful. When life challenges you, feelings will always try to sway you. They will whisper excuses and justify inaction. They will highlight the pain, fatigue, or fear, but discipline and faith override those whispers. Discipline tells you to act anyway, and faith reminds you why. They give you stability when emotions fluctuate and provide momentum when your mind wants to quit. They keep you on course, grounded in principles instead of reactions. Ultimately, discipline and faith teach a critical lesson. You are stronger than your feelings, and your progress depends on your commitment, not your mood. Success, purpose, and fulfillment are reserved for those who choose consistency over convenience and belief over doubt. Feeling ready is optional, but showing up is mandatory. Discipline trains the body and mind, faith strengthens the spirit, and together they allow you to move forward, overcome adversity, and achieve what feelings alone could never carry you through. Pain is a universal experience, but the way we respond to it defines our lives. Everyone encounters loss, disappointment, or failure, and it often feels isolating. At first, pain can seem like an obstacle meant to stop you, a burden that weighs too heavily to bear. But pain is also a teacher, a guide, and a doorway to empathy. When you learn to turn personal suffering into service for others, it transforms from a source of despair into a source of strength. It becomes a purpose far greater than the original wound. The first step in turning pain into service is acknowledgement. You must face your experience honestly without minimizing it or pretending it didn't happen. Pain carries lessons, but only if you are willing to sit with it and understand it. When you acknowledge your struggles, you gain clarity on what you've endured and what you've learned. That clarity becomes the foundation for helping others, because you can't guide someone else through a journey you haven't explored yourself. Your experience gives you authority, empathy, and authenticity that no theory or advice could ever replace. Empathy is born in the crucible of pain. People can read sincerity. They can feel when someone speaks from lived experience. When you have walked through hardship, you develop a sensitivity to the suffering of others. You recognize struggles that might otherwise go unnoticed. You begin to see beyond surface behaviors and into the heart of what people are dealing with. That awareness is what allows service to be impactful. Helping others is not about pity or obligation. It is about connection, understanding, and the ability to offer guidance rooted in genuine insight. Pain also fosters resilience, which is contagious when shared. When others see you turn your struggles into meaningful action, it inspires them to believe that their own hardships can be overcome. Your journey becomes a roadmap. Your recovery, your growth, and your perseverance show what is possible. Service becomes a cycle. Your pain shapes your response motivates others, and that motivation reinforces your own purpose. In this way, personal suffering is transformed into a force that uplifts more than just yourself. Turning pain into service requires action, not just reflection. It's not enough to understand your struggle. You must use it intentionally. This could mean mentoring someone facing a similar challenge, volunteering for causes that align with your experiences, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in need. The act of helping others shifts focus outward, reducing the weight of your own pain while amplifying impact. It turns what once felt like a personal burden into a tool for positive change. Service also reframes your pain. What once felt random or cruel begins to take on purpose. You realize that your struggles, while difficult, have equipped you with unique skills, perspective, and compassion. You begin to see that the difficulties you faced were preparing you for something greater. Each challenge, failure, or disappointment is now a resource for empathy, guidance, and influence. Your suffering becomes meaningful because it is no longer confined to yourself. It reaches beyond your own life to touch the lives of others. When you serve others from a place of pain, it strengthens character. You cultivate patience, humility, and understanding. You learn that progress is often slow and invisible, and that meaningful impact is measured not by recognition but by transformation. Service demands consistency, selflessness, and a willingness to step into discomfort on behalf of others, mirroring the lessons you learned through your own struggles. In giving to others, you reinforce the values and resilience that pain taught you. Ultimately, turning pain into service creates a legacy. Pain that could have destroyed you instead shapes lives, builds communities, and inspires hope. Every person you help, every lesson you share, and every action you take transforms your suffering into a force far bigger than the original hurt. Pain no longer defines you, it empowers you. It becomes a bridge, connecting your journey to the journeys of others, proving that even the deepest wounds can produce light when guided by compassion and action.